Hey guys, it's Shapeshifting Tree here, and well, this episode of is not actually going to be even about Team Fortress. I have a huge sorry about that little interruption. That's a different thing that was on front, but I made that invisible in order it was blocking out the screen, and I'm sorry. As you can see, it was just something blocking out the screen. This is a Fnaf video, and I know there's people out there who will say Fnaf, and I will say firsthand, I have not played Fnaf games, but I've got involved enough in the theories to say that there's a good I have got heavily involved in the theories, right? And part of the reason why I'm so interested in discussing this is simple, because remember back to Fnaf 1, right? Many people have said you have the theory of the theory that you have Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, all of those, right? And they say that you go back to the first game, they say 5 dead children, right? Something that nobody ever notices is that, remember how you had Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, Foxy, and all of those guys? And then you had the 5 ones. Back in the first game, we assumed that 5 dead children were Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. And this is something that I think the reason why it's going to appear in 6 locations, because I have not seen anyone bring it up. Now, I haven't seen every video on Fnaf, but I haven't seen someone bring it up, so I'm going to. So, here's the thing. Freddy, Fazbear, and that whole thing. God damn it. Demo man. What the? Who's contesting what? Okay, anyway. Sorry about that language. But anyway, that's what I'm saying about FNAF, is that nobody ever explained who, right, with those 5, we always assumed Freddy, but now we find that Golden Freddy, regardless of whether you think he's a puppet or Golden Freddy, the first child was either puppet or Golden Freddy. Now personally I think it's Golden Freddy, but that's not relevant. The point I am trying to make is that how do we know who did what and who was performing what? Oh, why, we had those 4. The problem is that, remember how they said there were 5 children in, FNAF. That FNAF was, that you have Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and all of them around there, right? With FNAF, well, have we ever considered the fact that maybe we have missed somebody who is part of the game? Because we have those 4, right? Who, you have Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, and Foxy, who all, we assume are the 4 children who died, right? Here is my biggest issue with that. Yeah, I outline. My biggest issue with that is that, well, is the fact that, Freddy and Bonnie, right, and Chica and all of those guys, there were only 4 of them who appeared in that whole, they died thing, right? So here's the important question. Who's the 5th? Who's the 5th child who died alongside, the older boys that became Bonnie, Chica, Bunny, and Foxy. We assume they were possessed, then who was that? Because we constantly come back to those 5. We never bring them up. Ever. I mean, ever. They've never been brought up in any circumstance or context. They're not being brought up, and they're not being evaluated enough. Like that consideration of who's this number 5 that we have always been missing. Well, here's the thing. Remember, I believe Fnaf 4 and Sis Location gave us that answer. With the might of, with Bonnie, with the fact that we saw that there was a little girl outside that looks like her. Well, what if she was the 5th? Would help explain why. I mean, why? There was no, there was a much smaller, there was something that we never saw in that thing, is that we never saw, we've never seen her. It may actually evaluate what we're missing. Anyway, I'll continue to discuss this in just a second. I'll be right back. I need to check something. It was nothing. Anyway, continuing with that, and as well, in addition to that, I'm going to go over probably, since I've gone over that already, I might as well, I mean, we already had that whole situation with those, right? Because the point I have is that, in general, the other thing I had to say, because in addition to that, which, the reason why I say, I'm also going to go over the whole what I think is the Golden Freddy issue, of Golden Freddy. Here's the biggest thing. Alright, let's say you're a child, probably 10, 12. Okay, here's the problem. We have no sign of the puppet's body until Fnaf 2, and this is a huge issue with the fact that the first child's a puppet. Why would the first child wait so long for a body? Possess. If he's going to possess the body, he just would have possessed whatever was on him, which would have been the Fredbear suit. It was just because it was there. Like, it was just there. It was the suit that was there at the time, during those early days when the first child died, before all these other things that happened in Fnaf. So, in general, as Fnaf goes, that's why that happened. Is that Fnaf help teleport the game forward. Anyway, as I'm saying, is that doesn't really apply too much to the whole I'm have Fnaf thing. It means that there's a good chance that that child, by this explanation I'm trying to give, is actually here for a different reason. Anyway, as FNAF goes, that's a very important set of rules. How all of the, how FNAF works with all that happening is that, they have only those things happening. That, you have the huge defenses that, you have the huge abilities that they have with, possessed animatronic. Mention, who gave the child, it means that likely Golden Freddy had the power to give life and gave that power to the puppet once his body was lost, because he had no body left, he couldn't help anymore after his body gone, after he or she, because we don't know what gender the child was, that the first child was, he or she, right, pushed themselves jeez, I didn't know this. I was just close. as I was saying, and what I was going for though, was the fact that those guys with those powers have the capability to, right? The point of that is that they had, I know I'm not explaining this so well, had, you know, he obviously passed on the power because his body was damaged. Remember how his suit was decommissioned after the Fredbear incident? Because he was originally the Fredbear suit. He got decommissioned, etc. That's why that happened. The nightmares are just dreams. Now, as for, I'm also going to give my take on the whole dream theory thing, because I've heard that go around on the dream theory. I'm going to say, and here's my theory on it, they're both correct. And if anyone asks, well, how are they both correct? Well, here's the simple reason. I'm going to give you my reasoning on how they're both right. Okay. But in the actual things that happened were different. So what happened in the dreams of this kid was that he saw everything happen all the way up to Fnaf 4. Really. And then he went through, including plus his nightmares of Fnaf 4, right? Well, let's follow that along. And then from that, we'll take that logic and then let's bolster it up a little bit by turning it to what happened in FNAF. He dreamed all the stuff from FNAF 1, 2, and 3, and 4 was in his dreams. However, some of the events on the minigame still happened. In the actual time when he was turning up, the Golden Freddy turned him into the puppet and brought him to the pizzeria. And because of his foresight, they took out the purple guy earlier, because he died when the 4 animatronics first turned, instead of when he was, basically they stuffed him then, because they saw what happened, because of the foresight of the kid that dreamt all of it. And he brought all of the 4 back to life, and they took him out then and there. All 5 of the kids that died back to life. But here's the thing. The 5th one, Baby, went to Afton's workshop. To the place where we're going to Afton shop. And to me, I'm going to say this. I mean, Afton's workshop likely carried on his work. Afton Robotics carried on his work after he died. I mean, sure, maybe there's some recorded messages for Afton, but we don't know how old those are yet. From the, you know, this is my theory on it from a point of, I haven't played the actual game, but this is my theory on the matter. I'm just curious, what do you think about this theory I've come up with? Is it a good theory? Is it a bad theory? What do you think? This is my theory on FNAF as a whole, and also on, this is my FNAF theory. My personal FNAF theory on how it works. That all the animatronics, like the first 7, right? The 8 animatronics possessed. And then it's with the rest are glitches. Like the 5 from the original game. The 7 animatronics are possessed. This, by the way, confers that you count the puppet as an animatronic, but essentially he isn't essentially an animatronic. You have flippin' bastards. Anyway, as I'm trying to go over is that FNAF, as the logic of that, is that with that, alright, the idea of that is that the FNAF thing that's going on there, that's how the FNAF thing's working, is that you have, or at least how I think it went, is that the animatronics performing all those different, you have these animatronics. Ennard malfunctioned. Likely Ennard, obviously in his malfunctioned state, communicates with Baby, who, to me, is the 5th child who we miss in this thing. That child that was missing that we've never actually seen mentioned. God damn you. Oh, for God's sake. Alright. Well, as I'm saying with the whole Fnaf thing, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that, you know, we have the 5th animatronic kind of in a set, you know, giving a more, you know, combat heavy approach on. Okay, I'm actually going to change off the direct hit and go for something a little more in standard. You know what? And just go for the standard. So, but as I'm saying, is that the standard thing with Fnaf is that they had that whole thing that was going on with Fnaf and all of that. Okay, they're gonna come from here. The whole thing about Fnaf and in general. I doubt he's dead. Damn it. Okay. As I'm saying with the whole Fnaf thing is that you have, you know, Freddy and his, in fact, say it's that likely that girl is related, has some of, you know, because we see her in the original, she is probably baby, based on what I'm saying. And with all this, it goes up in the, as for what happens in this location, we don't fully know why they communicated after. Is this a good message? How long it was? But was it this before or after he died? Because we don't know when this child got stuffed in baby, or how long baby was around, or how it got possessed, etc. Like I say, it's not concrete, but it seems to make just too much sense that that is how that happened. Is that some, you know, baby makes the 5th out of the 4 children that disappeared. Because like they say 4 children were stuffed, which should mean that they all got possessed animatronics. So yes, what happened to the 5th one? We've never seen anything, like they never mentioned it. See, it never gets mentioned. That is the real thing, is that it never gets mentioned on anything of what happened to that kid. What happened to the 5th. And that's why I'm saying that it needs to be, it isn't probably this part of the secret to Fnaf, you know, Fnaf world, not Fnaf world, Fnaf sister location as a whole is built off that and why that happened. So yeah, that's kind of what my opinion on it is, but alas, you know, I'm not 100% sure of what's going on in Fnaf, but that is my theory on it. I hope you got that in the whole mess of my distractions. Anyway, this is SapeTV signing out. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and